A video has been circulating online that shows a Muslim woman in a state of anger inside a Marks and Spencer store. She believes that the pattern printed on their toilet paper packaging includes the word Allah. She confronts the staff and insists that the design is offensive even though the pattern is nothing more than a decorative swirl with no religious meaning at all. The situation quickly becomes dramatic as her reaction escalates, despite there being no clear evidence on the packaging to support what she is claiming. The video has sparked significant conversation because of the strong contrast between what is actually printed on the packaging and how she interprets it. Many people who have seen the video find her behavior unreasonable, as she seems to go straight into outrage without first checking the facts or taking a moment to look closely at the design in front of her. The swirling pattern on the packaging does not resemble Arabic script and does not include any wording that relates to religion. It is the kind of generic decorative design commonly used on everyday household items. Despite this, she continues to insist that the store has acted offensively. Her certainty and dramatic tone make the situation appear exaggerated and unnecessary. People watching the clip can immediately see the mismatch between her claims and the reality shown on the packaging. There is no hidden message, no religious wording, and no intention to disrespect anyone. The reaction goes far beyond what the situation warrants, which is why many viewers have described the incident as unreasonable and even absurd. It stands as another example of how quickly misunderstandings can spiral when assumptions are made without verification. This incident took place in France and has now snowballed into something entirely disproportionate to the facts. Even though the packaging contains no reference to Allah, and even though the design is simply decorative, some people online are already calling for a boycott of the shop. The outrage is based on a claim that is simply untrue, yet the reaction on social media has taken on a life of its own. What began as one woman's misinterpretation has turned into a wider backlash against a store that did nothing wrong. This demonstrates how easily misinformation can spread and how quickly people can become swept up in anger without checking whether the original claim has any accuracy. In another story, attention has been drawn to the struggles of a homeless migrant who has been pleading with the Home Office to deport him back to his family in Bangladesh. He originally arrived in the United Kingdom legally on a student visa in 2013 and studied international business management at Anglia Ruskin University. Unfortunately, he was unable to complete his studies. After his efforts to secure the right to remain failed in 2021, he found himself without proper documentation or stability. He later moved to Southend on the promise of work and accommodation in exchange for labor in a pizza shop. The arrangement soon deteriorated when the person employing him began to treat him poorly. Eventually, he was left without a home or income. The man says he desperately wants to return to Bangladesh, where his sick father is waiting for him. He fears that his father may die before he gets the chance to return home. He first requested voluntary return assistance from the Home Office in March, but he was told he needed a valid passport. Without money, he was unable to renew it. Over the months that followed, he says the Home Office failed to respond to his messages. Struggling to survive, he resorted to shoplifting and was prosecuted, which left him with a criminal record. When the Citizens Advice Bureau became involved in September, they were told he did not qualify for one voluntary return scheme because of his conviction and was instead referred to another scheme intended for foreign offenders. However, because he had not been sentenced to jail, he was then redirected back to the original scheme. This left him trapped in a bureaucratic loop with no progress toward returning home. The Home Office has said that when he first applied, he had unresolved police matters including the shoplifting conviction from August. These cases have since been resolved and he is now able to apply for the voluntary return service again. Even so, he and those assisting him are confused by how the case has been handled given that multiple calls and messages have been made over several months. He says he has followed every instruction provided to him, yet he remains homeless and unable to leave the country. His family in Bangladesh cannot afford the cost of a plane ticket. His father, who is a heart patient, has already suffered a stroke because of the stress caused by the situation. Those who have heard his story are shocked at how a person who is voluntarily trying to leave the country has been caught in such a complicated system that seems unable to make a decision. There is growing concern about how many others may be stuck in similar bureaucratic situations. The case raises serious questions about the efficiency of the current processes and the communication between different departments handling immigration issues. It highlights the gap between policy and practice, especially for vulnerable individuals who do not have the resources or stability to navigate complex procedures on their own. These two stories, though unrelated, both reflect how perception, misunderstanding, and systemic problems can escalate situations unnecessarily. In the case of the woman in the store, a simple decorative pattern led to a wave of misinformation and calls for a boycott. In the case of the migrant trying to return home, unclear procedures and slow responses have left a man stranded on the streets despite his repeated efforts to resolve his case. Both incidents underline how important it is to verify facts before reacting and how essential clear communication is in preventing avoidable distress. They also show how quickly public narratives can grow beyond the original event, whether through misunderstanding, emotion, or bureaucratic delay. These examples remind us that taking a moment to look carefully at the facts and understanding the full context can prevent misinformation, unnecessary conflict, and prolonged suffering for individuals caught in complicated systems.